people with anxious attachment tend to get addicted to the avoidant behavior, again, because they associate this suffering and joy with of the pull and push, the hot and cold, with passion or love. So when they meet actually a secure person, they feel that the person is boring, it's not
Yeah,
exciting, because none of those bells, are going off, right?
that's right.
Which this prevents them from exploring and giving a chance to what they could be their ideal partner. And given that fact, how can anxious people break this cycle?
Right. So again, it comes back to managing the emotion, regulating the emotions. And so it's a beautiful thing that you're bringing up, that anxious people have learned to associate that the butterflies, the kind of, thunderbolt and lightning. I've been hit by the love lightning bolt, right? That triggering of the emotions, the escalating of the emotions is associated with love, but that's only because they learned as a child that there was an inconsistency in their caregiving and in their caregivers. And so they would go through moments of having love and moments of being avoided, being rejected from them, but being removed from them, sorry. And so when the caregiver comes back, the child is really excited. Here, I'm getting love again. I'm getting love again. So they learn to associate that. So what happens in the adult world is that they end up chasing avoidant people because that's what they've learned to associate with love. When they get that thunderbolt and lightning, it's a trigger for them to say, "Ah, oh, it was love at first sight. This is it. It's got to be right." Without recognizing they're actually being triggered, and it's a big warning sign to they're just going to repeat the same pattern. The same emotional roller coaster is going to be happening. And so it's a big step for the anxious person to start regulating, and where they're feeling like it's boring, that they're not being triggered, that is actually really healthy, regulated, secure relationship. So they're not going to be going on this emotional roller coaster. And that's a learning curve. That's a learning pattern, because otherwise they're going to get stuck and stay stuck in those same push-pull dynamics in exactly the same way that the avoidant person has to step into the discomfort of owning their emotions and tapping into that in order to become more secure.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, the way that you put it that way. Because one of the reasons why I ask this question is because you see, or at least on my algorithm, both on Twitter, Instagram, I see either posts or videos of mostly women making comments or statements that they were with a guy that treated them well all the time, that it was like perfectly fine, that was giving them everything that they needed from an emotional point of view. It's not that the guy was a doormat, and he didn't have any boundaries. The guy was treating her well, and most of them, again, these videos or this post I saw was okay. It was so boring, and to me, it's like okay, then I understand where you're coming from, but then you're not seeing the real point, and that is affecting you as a person, as a female, thinking that I keep getting into a relationship with avoidance, that those relationships don't last, and I'm
That's
making those insecure people lonely and miserable as well, because they cannot find somebody that values those
100%.
traits.
Yeah, that's right. And so there's where it comes down to the individual. At some point, you want to get off that roller coaster ride and do something about it, or stay on that roller coaster. It's it's I talk about the heartbeats as being a currency. The only currency that we have of any value is our heartbeats. We can't change. We can't, the moments that we're spending here now, we're spending heartbeats here. I'm not going to get those heartbeats back again. So what I'm choosing to focus those heartbeats on, if I'm wanting to repeat those patterns of push pull dance in a relationship that's not going to get anywhere, that's my choice. And it's about waking up to, what are you spending your heartbeats on? Are you going to be able to regulate that in a secure, beautifully nurturing, supportive relationship that isn't going to have those massive highs and lows, but it's going to give you the support and a reassurance for an anxious person that is so important. That's exactly what they need. That's what they're really, really searching for. Or continue to stay on the roller coaster and have those massive highs and lows. So the choice is really coming down to the individual. And I say that, with women that I've been coaching that are blaming their partners, he was a narcissist, he was this, that, and the other. They're not taking any responsibility, but they're also stuck in that blaming. And a certain amount of blaming isn't it required, right? I get that there is a certain amount of blaming that can go on, but when you continue staying in that without stepping up and you know taking responsibility for your part in that relationship, then you're wasting your heartbeats. You're stuck in a victim-like mentality that isn't going to serve you or anybody else. And so my wake-up call for people is, what are you spending your heartbeats on? What energy are you spending your heartbeats on? Because that's your choice.
What's up, everyone? If you enjoyed that, then press here to watch the full episode. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.